June 30th, 1966, Michael Gerard Tyson, Islamic name Malik Abdul Aziz, was born in Brooklyn, New York, to a family facing poverty and hardship, playing in abandoned buildings because there were shootings in parks. The family lived in Bedford-Stuyvesant until their financial burdens necessitated a move to Brownsville when Tyson was 10 years old. Growing up in a rough Brownsville neighborhood, Tyson was exposed early on to crime and violence. His father abandoned the family when he was young, leaving his mother, Lorna Mae Tyson, to raise Mike and his siblings on her own. By the age of 10, Tyson had already been in trouble with the law and involved in street fighting. This troubled childhood would later serve as the foundation for his legendary ferocity in the ring. Tyson's early years were shaped by frequent run-ins with the law. There are many people who have mentioned that Tyson has robbed them when he was at a very young age. He was eventually sent to Tryon School for Boys, a juvenile detention centre in upstate New York. It was at Tryon that a counsellor noticed Tyson's potential in boxing. By the age of 13, he had begun developing his skills as a boxer, which would set him on a path to greatness. Bear in mind, by the age of 12, he was already 5'8" and 200 pounds. He looked like a grown man. At this point, I'll mention that Tyson is soon going to fight Logan Paul, who is a popular YouTuber. And in my opinion, I feel like there is for me a risk that Tyson may hold back. Tyson has got a lot of wisdom in his later years and has got a very peaceful nature to him. So I feel like there is a risk that Tyson may hold back, but if he doesn't, then this could be an unbelievable fight. One where Tyson is able to show his power, his strength at such a late age as well. So for me, Tyson's going to win. It's a question as to whether or not he's going to hold back. I think we're going to see a lot of the old Tyson still living in Tyson at the moment. So he's still got his strength, he's still got his same bobbing and weaving style, his movement, his energetic style, that aggression, that power. I'm pretty sure it's all still there. It's going to be a very interesting fight to see. Let's go back to where we were. While at Tryon, the juvenile detention centre, Tyson's boxing talent came to the attention of Bobby Stewart, a former boxer who worked as a juvenile detention counsellor. Stewart recognised Tyson's raw power and potential and introduced him to Cus D'Amato, a legendary boxing trainer who had previously trained champions like Floyd Patterson. D'Amato quickly saw the fire in Tyson and took him under his wing, not just as a trainer, but as a father figure, quite literally, as Tyson was later adopted by Cus. Cus was known for his psychological approach to the sport, teaching Tyson not only physical techniques but also mental toughness and discipline. After doing some training and starting his boxing development, Tyson regaled his good foundations to his mother, who for the first time heard Tyson speaking with confidence and ambition. She cautioned him with a warning about overconfidence. She mentioned where Joe Louis had underestimated a boxer and got knocked out. "There's always somebody better than you," was what she said. Tyson responded, "I'm the better person you're talking about. That's me." That was the last real time Tyson spoke to his mother. She passed away from cancer in 1982 when Tyson was 16. Quick note on the father while we're here. The father's name is Jimmy Kirkpatrick. He abandoned the Tyson family around the time Mike was born, leaving Tyson's mother to care for the children on her own. Kirkpatrick died in 1992. D'Amato's philosophy revolved around teaching fighters to embrace their fears and channel them into focused aggression. He would often say, "The hero and the coward both feel the same thing, but the hero uses his fear and projects it onto his opponent, while the coward runs." Under D'Amato's guidance, Tyson began to hone his skills, developing his famous peekaboo boxing style, characterized by a high guard, explosive power and quick head movements. D'Amato's mentorship laid the foundation for Tyson's meteoric rise. Tyson would mention that Kuss designed his style to be exciting, and that was Tyson's main objective, alongside his overall aim, which was from early on to aim for world champion. If Kuss was in Tyson's life for longer, Tyson says that his image would have been more commercialised, more mainstream, as Kuss preferred that clean-cut look. Kuss was also a big believer in charity. In November 1985, Cus D'Amato, Tyson's mentor and father figure, passed away from pneumonia at the age of 77. Tyson was only 19 years old at the time, and just starting to make waves in the professional boxing world. D'Amato's death was devastating for Tyson, who saw Cus as the father he never had. Under Cus's guidance, Tyson was disciplined, focused and determined to become the world heavyweight champion. Cus had not only trained Tyson but instilled in him the mental toughness and self-belief crucial for a fighter's success. D'Amato's passing left a void in Tyson's life that no one else could fill. Following Cus's death, Tyson struggled with feelings of abandonment and grief, leading him to rely more heavily on figures like boxing promoter Don King, who, while influential, often steered Tyson in a different direction than Cus would have. Tyson later admitted that with Cus gone, he felt lost and directionless, and his personal life began to spiral. The grounding influence and emotional support that Cus provided were gone, and Tyson would frequently look back on this period as one of the turning points in his life. Without Cus's steady presence, Tyson's life and career became increasingly tumultuous, marked by legal troubles, broken relationships, and controversial behaviour. Tyson often reflected that had Cus lived longer, his career and personal choices might have taken a different path, perhaps a more stable path. In 1985, at just 18 years old, Tyson made his professional debut on March 6, 1985, against Hector Mercedes, whom he knocked out in the first round. His debut victory set the tone for his early career, with Tyson quickly gaining a reputation for his powerful punches and aggressive style. Tyson's career skyrocketed when he became the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history, at just 20 years old. On the 22nd of November 1986, he fought Trevor Berbick for the WBC heavyweight title, knocking Berbick out in the second round to claim the title. Tyson's knockout victories and dominant performances made him a media sensation. Trevor Berbick was also the last person to fight Muhammad Ali, and that fight was quite a merciless one. Tyson considers his own fight with Berbick as one of two fights where Tyson avenged his own hero Muhammad Ali. At the age of 52, Berbick was killed by his nephew. Berbick was known as someone who treated people badly. The killing was no surprise to a lot of people. The other fight where Mike avenged Ali was against Larry Holmes, after Holmes beat Ali quite badly. Larry was looking at the corner during the fight, as if to say, is this fight going to stop? I don't want to kill the guy. Larry had mentioned that he had studied Muhammad Ali so well that he was able to dismantle everything Ali was throwing at him, and that resulted in Larry Holmes beating Muhammad Ali. Cus was fuming after the fight and didn't say a word for the whole drive home with Mike. Later, when Cus was on the phone to Ali, explaining his disappointment over the loss, Tyson had a moment on the call and said that when I get the chance to fight Holmes, I will restore your honour. And when the time came for Mike Tyson to fight Holmes, Tyson was victorious, and that was the only fight where Holmes was ever knocked out. Tyson puts this knockout down to Holmes' age and him coming out of retirement and fighting Tyson as his first fight. Tyson compounds that, saying that Holmes went on to fight other fighters, including Holyfield, who couldn't beat Holmes. If Holmes had fought a few other boxers, almost as like warming up, practicing, training, after coming out of retirement, before fighting Tyson, it could have gone a different way entirely. In 1987, Tyson continued his winning streak by unifying the WBA, WBC and IBF heavyweight titles. He defeated James Bone Crusher Smith and Tony Tucker, becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion. His dominance in the ring earned him the nickname Iron Mike. Tyson's rise in the sport was meteoric, and he became a cultural icon with his distinct personality, fierce fighting style and memorable quotes like, "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." However, Tyson's success also brought new challenges, including the influence of figures like Don King. As Tyson's fame grew, boxing promoter Don King entered his life, becoming both manager and promoter. Known for his charisma but also manipulation, King had a divisive impact on Tyson, with many believing he led Tyson away from constructive guidance and towards chaos. Tyson's personal life also drew media attention, particularly his relationships. He married actress Robin Givens in 1988, a brief marriage marked by allegations of abuse and a turbulent public breakup. After divorcing Givens in 1989, Tyson married Monica Turner, a pediatric resident he met while in prison in 1997. They divorced in 2003, amid reports of infidelity. Tyson married a third time in 2009 to Lakeha Spicer, who remains his wife and has been a steadying influence in his life. In 1991, Tyson faced severe legal trouble where he was accused of R-wording beauty pageant contestant Desiree Washington. He was convicted in 1992 and sentenced to 6 years in prison, ultimately serving 3 before being released on parole. During his imprisonment, Tyson reverted to Islam and took the name Malik Abdul Aziz, marking a period of self-reflection and personal change. After his release in 1995, Tyson was determined to reclaim his boxing titles. His comeback was successful, with Tyson regaining both the WBC and WBA titles. But controversy continued to follow him. 1997. In one of the most infamous moments in boxing, Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear during a bout, leading to Tyson's disqualification and temporary suspension. Tyson later expressed regret for his actions, admitting he had snapped. Despite amassing significant wealth, Tyson faced financial ruin due to excessive spending, legal battles, and exploitation. In 2003, he declared bankruptcy, with debts exceeding $23 million. Over the years, he ventured into various business endeavours to regain stability, including a clothing line, acting roles, and more recently a highly successful cannabis company, Tyson Ranch. His cannabis business has gained considerable success, symbolising a new phase in his life, marked by reflection and personal growth. Tyson's fame extended beyond the ring, with many memorable quotes that shed light on his fierce spirit and inner conflicts. "I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been." And another quote, "Fear is like fire. It can cook for you, it can heat your house, or it can burn you down." Mike Tyson has had 8 children, and fatherhood has been both a source of joy and heartbreak throughout his life. Each of his children's birth marked important milestones, influencing his outlook and priorities. Tyson's journey as a father has been complex. He has navigated the demands of a turbulent career and personal challenges while striving to be present for his family. Tyson's first son, Miguel Leon, was born in 2002. Tyson has spoken about how becoming a father helped him understand responsibility and family in a new light. His daughter Exodus was born in 2005. Tragically, in 2009, Exodus passed away in a heartbreaking accident at Tyson's home. Her death profoundly affected Tyson, leading him to reflect deeply on his life choices and priorities. The loss of Exodus became a pivotal moment, pushing him to find healing and a new sense of purpose. Tyson also has other children from his marriages and relationships: Mikey Lorna Tyson, Reina, Amir, Milan, Morocco, and D'Amato. named in honour of his mentor, Cus D'Amato. His third wife, Lakiha Spicer, whom he married in 2009, is the mother of Milan and Morocco. With Lakiha's support and the grounding effect of his family, Tyson has worked to find stability and become more present in his children's lives. Becoming a father has been transformative for Tyson, offering him the chance to seek redemption, stability and love. His children have played a key role in his journey to find balance and a renewed purpose outside the boxing ring. Tyson often credits his family with helping him make positive changes, guiding him towards personal growth and a deeper understanding of life. In later years, Tyson sought to overcome his struggles with mental health and addiction, speaking openly about his journey, his reversion to Islam, and various charitable activities reflected his desire for a meaningful life beyond boxing. He re-entered the public eye with appearances in movies and his successful podcast, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. Today, Tyson is celebrated as a boxing legend and a figure of redemption. His story from a troubled childhood to becoming the heavyweight champion, followed by legal issues and financial ruin, and finally to personal reinvention, has left an indelible mark on the world of sports and popular culture. Tyson's journey is one of triumph, loss, resilience and transformation. Tyson sees himself as Alexander the Great reincarnated. Tyson has also mentioned that he's gone to study ancient warriors of ancient times, the biggest names in warrior history. For me, one of the most interesting things about Mike Tyson is his personal journey. He seems to have had a very solitary journey. We don't really know much about Mike Tyson's siblings. I know that his sister had passed away at the age of 24 in 1990 due to a heart attack. That was his older sister. His older brother is relatively private. He works in the medical profession in California, and he has a half-brother, Jimmy Lee Kirkpatrick, who had become a football star in North Carolina during the 1960s. So that was, of course, prior to Tyson's birth. So his life does seem to be one that follows a very much a solitary path. And through that, he seems to have fought a lot of demons, his own demons. And it's interesting that he has this focus on the psychological side of boxing, the psychological side of life, the whole mental health aspect. It's almost in every speech or conversation that we see from Mike is the whole inner struggle, what's happening on the inside, how to use that as fuel, what to do with that going forward, how to use it productively, how to prevent it from crushing yourself and creating debilitating situations. It seems to me like Cus D'Amato's foundation that was given to Mike is one that has never left him. And if you look at it, Cus wasn't in Mike's life for very long. He had a massive impact in it. When he was there, he was present. He was there for everything that Mike was doing, everything that Mike was. Cus was there for that. Cus famously said to Mike that he summoned him, as if Cus was waiting for somebody to make a great champion, somebody who was going to be down in the history books for a very long time. And that propels not only Mike to legendary status, but also in turn Cus as well, because Cus is certainly a massive part of that journey. Tyson himself often stops people from saying that Tyson is the greatest. He still holds Muhammad Ali in that regard, in that position, as the greatest of all time. However, there are certain situations where Tyson does admit his own position in the boxing world. Huge heavyweight boxers have said that taking a punch from Tyson is like being hit by a train. He's an extremely powerful boxer and was given an exciting style from Cus. Tyson says that a lot of boxers were boring, and so they were hard to watch. And that's the reason why they didn't really get the following, because they were boring. And so Cus was trying to avoid that and keep Tyson basically exciting, entertaining. I find Tyson to be really eloquent. He uses the right words at the right time quite often, and very specific terms, specific jargon. He comes across to me as somebody who is not only intelligent but well read, somebody who has sought knowledge. But at the same time, Tyson has a youthful playfulness about him. It's really interesting because he has ferocity. He has this historic warrior-like presence, but at the same time, he has wisdom, peace, and he still has a playful, fun nature about him, all in the same place at the same time. On a private jet with Don King, when Don King was talking about making money, let's just land, let's just get there, you and me are going to be rich, let's just do what we've got to do, and we're going to get there, etc., etc. Tyson had ingested a Class A drug, and at the time had quite dark thoughts about Don King in that moment. And then at the time, he had actually gone and beaten up Don King quite badly on the private jet. Since that situation, Tyson has regretted it. But Tyson also says that life is massively about learning to forgive yourself. So to forgive yourself and move on. It's actually quite amazing. Tyson does have some real amazing wisdom to live by, and he tends to impart that very often. It really does show that the impact from Customato, the real mental focus, that real bulletproof mental state which Customato has passed to Tyson is still with him today. It's almost as if he lives by that way of thinking, what has been left with him from Cus. Tyson has also been a lover of birds. He kept pigeons for a very long time, and still to this day keeps birds and flies them. Even those he relates to life. He says sometimes the birds will land on somebody else's roof. Like life, sometimes these birds will betray you. It's amazing how he relates a lot of things in life to deeper meaning. Now about the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, it's something which I do have mixed feelings about. Reason being, Tyson is an absolute living legend. He's almost one of the last few living legends left. And to see how this fight could go, if we look into the potential negatives here, if Tyson, who is fueled by fear, don't forget, he is even saying that with this fight, he is fueled by fear. He says it scares him going to actually go towards this fight. It does instill fear in him. And Tyson has always gone towards that which makes him fearful. So that's one of the reasons for him going towards this fight. Now the interesting thing is the degree to which that fear may take him over. If he is really scared, will he be able to remain in control enough to hold back? I really feel like Tyson will need to hold back in his fight with Jake Paul. Tyson is not fighting a normal opponent, in my opinion. The issue is, if Tyson takes that risk and holds back, there is a chance of Jake Paul leaving lasting damage on Mike Tyson. So there is that risk. Now the alternate risk is that Mike Tyson leaves extreme lasting damage on Jake Paul. And I think that's the higher risk, to be honest. Tyson is definitely strong enough to take punches from Jake Paul. However, you never know when a lucky punch is going to get in, and that's the risk. There may be an argument here for a last-ditch attempt at making millions of dollars, which of course this may well be. There's no harm in, seeing an opportunity out there, and then it's an opportunity to make millions of dollars. Are you really going to reject it? It's an opportunity to get back into the spotlight, do something which Tyson loves. Recently, in the run-up to this fight, we found that the original fight date had been cancelled. It was set for summer 2024, so just a few months ago. But Tyson was feeling weak during training, and then he had gone and he had actually thrown up blood. The hospital had found that there was an ulcer which was causing this, and when Tyson had asked the medical staff if he's going to pass away or not, they didn't say no, and that really scared Tyson. They didn't say no. And so instead they said that there's work we can do, there's things we can do. Fortunately, Tyson has been able to overcome this and keep going. Tyson himself, when talking about that, mentioned that he doesn't want to die on a hospital bed. He wants to die in the ring. That itself is kind of scary, considering he's kind of like about to have a fight, and age is a factor, no matter how good he's looking in terms of his fighting fit ability at the moment. Another amazing thing about Tyson for me is his humility. The way he often stops people who are complimenting him and talking about how amazing Tyson really is. He'll often shy away from that, and he'll always turn his attention towards people who he himself sees as legends, as amazing boxers. He talks about people who he sees as willing to die boxing. For example, Muhammad Ali. Tyson also had a close relationship with Tupac, the famous rapper and a bit of an actor as well. They had spent quite a lot of time together, and this was generally when Tupac was basically at his peak. Tyson expresses a degree of guilt over the passing of Tupac Shakur, and that's because Tyson had really wanted Tupac to be around for the boxing fight. Tupac was shot in a drive-by shooting on September the 7th, 1996 in Las Vegas, Nevada, after attending the Mike Tyson versus Bruce Seldon fight at the MGM Grand. Now at the time, Tyson was aware of something which Tupac was working on, and it was something which Tyson wanted to see. He wanted to get hold of, and so Tyson was quite often willing Tupac to make sure he attends, make sure he comes, make sure you're in Vegas, make sure you're in Vegas. In fact, Tyson was supposed to spend some time with Tupac that night. However, because Tyson had had a new baby at the time, the mother of the baby was asking for Tyson to stay with her and the new baby. So that's where Tyson went. And of course, in the meanwhile, Tupac that night had got shot. Tyson sees this as a really bad night, a really unfortunate situation, and Tyson really enjoyed his time and his friendship with Tupac. I myself remember some fights which I've seen from Tyson. I remember the Savarese fight, and I remember the Hasim Rahman fight. I remember the Savarese fight a bit more because I remember Savarese looking like quite a big dude, but however he was just wobbling around when it came to fight performance. The guy was all over the place. I suppose what you're going to do, you're in the ring with Mike Tyson, your chances are you're going to be very wobbly. I really love the fact that Tyson has embraced Islam. I think Islam and Mike Tyson go really hand in hand, and they work extremely well together. The depth of Islam, the focus on the soul and the focus on the inner, the self, the love of God, is something which really ties in and really marries up with Tyson and his development, his character. They really go together very well. Coming back to the fight, and that's with Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, I want to say that there is a risk that Jake Paul could catch Tyson with a lucky punch. There is a risk that Jake Paul may have better stamina than Mike Tyson. Jake Paul has got lots of youth on his side. Okay, lots of youth. He's got a bit of a go-getter attitude, but he's going to be in the ring with a beast. A real old ancient warrior is going to be in the ring with Jake Paul. And the question is Mike Tyson going to switch on the real killer instinct, or is Mike Tyson going to soften that? Because I can see that there is a degree of respect between Tyson and Jake Paul. So they're not really against each other. There are parts of this where really they're friends, and so that respect could change things for Tyson. One more thing I want to mention about Tyson. There were times when Tyson would be crying in his changing room prior to the fight. And he wouldn't be crying because he's scared or anything like that. Tyson would be crying in his changing room prior to the fight because he is scared about what he is going to do to his opponent. He was scared for his opponent. For their family, what's going to happen, how much danger is Tyson putting that person in. And I find that absolutely stunning, absolutely mind-blowing that Tyson would be in that state. That is an amazing level of confidence. And really you could see it in the ring, because his technique is so unique. It's so signature Tyson. It's amazing. Tyson generally has signature black trunks when he's boxing and has famously been fined for wearing black, but he still goes ahead with wearing the black shorts and just pays the fine. I wonder if he'll wear black in this fight. I hope he does. I hope he wears the black shorts, because we'll get a glimpse of the old Tyson if he wears them again in this fight. With Muhammad Ali passing away in 2016, Tyson really is one of, if not the last living legend when it comes to boxing in recent generations. Tyson has stunned the world and repeatedly shown his boxing prowess, his techniques and his strength, which has been unlike any other. With that, I'm looking forward massively to the fight between Jake Paul and Tyson. Partly mixed feelings as to whether or not he should be doing it. I think just stay classy, keep your reign as the best, and just relax. But this just shows his love for the sport. So if he feels safe enough and feels strong enough, then go for it. I'm hoping Mike Tyson wins. No hate against Jake, really. I just want to see the legend do his work again. For me personally, I'm hoping that it doesn't go further than 3 rounds. But I'm expecting Tyson to knock out Jake within the first or second round. That's my opinion. I feel fortunate to even be making this video about Mike Tyson in the run-up to his fight. I will also make a video post-fight discussing that as well. For this one, I'll leave this one here, and I'll thank you guys for watching. This one has been about Mike Tyson and his life overall, and in light of the upcoming boxing fight. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.